Hi everyone, my name is Michaela Wilmot, and today I will be doing my presentation for homework 3. Today we will talk about the formation of precipitation and the differences between rain, snow, sleet, and hail, air masses and how they are classified, as well as why Oklahoma is more susceptible to tornadoes, and then the importance of the lifting of air and 2 processes of the airlifting. So first, we're going to be talking about collision coalescence. This is a process of the formation of precipitation. So in coalescence, first the saturated air rises in warm clouds and then it cools. This cooling in the warm cloud produces condensation. As the condensation continues to add and grow, it'll grow to about 50 to 100 micrometers. Whenever it hits this point, the drops are going to start to collide and then they'll coalesce with each other, and then they form raindrops that can be anywhere from 1,000 meters and they can go up to 7,000 micrometers. When that happens, the weight of the drop causes them to fall, and as they're falling, they will break into smaller pieces. There is also aggregation, and in aggregation, it is a very similar process. Instead, it is just falling ice crystals, and the ice crystals will collide and stick together. So these two will form different types of precipitation. Both kinds will produce rain, which is water droplets that fall to the ground. In collision coalescence, it is regular when the drops fall, that is rain. In aggregation, it actually falls as, it'll melt as it's falling from the freezing crystals to the rain and the water droplets. There's also freezing rain, and that's rain that falls, but as soon as it hits contacts a surface, it'll freeze. Sleet is rain that falls and freezes in the air before it hits the ground. And those freezing rain, and sleet all happen with collision coalescence. And then there is snow, and that's ice crystals that fall. Snow and also rain, like we talked about before, those both happen with aggregation. Now, hail, as it says on here, is a more complicated process. The formation of hail happens in a cumulonimbus cloud. In a cumulonimbus cloud, you have higher updraft, and that results in freezing temperatures. When these temperatures freeze, the droplets are forming, and then they're sticking together and they're freezing. So it's making this really big, crystal-like solid. And then, just like precipitation, the weight of that crystal will have it fall, and that'll result in hail. So, air masses. What is an air mass? Well, an air mass is a very large body of air, and it's characterized by temperature and moisture. When the air mass moves, it carries the conditions that it started with it, and it affects a large portion of the continent. Air masses are classified by the source of the region and the surface of the source region. So what I mean by that is if it originates in one of the poles, it's either going to be a polar air mass or an Arctic air mass, and you can see that that is classified as a capital P or capital A. There is also a tropical source, and that is formed in the lower latitudes. And a polar or Arctic air mass is going to bring colder temperatures with it. Tropical is going to bring warmer temperatures. So these two affect the temperature of the air mass. There are also air mass, the surface of the source region is also how it's classified. So if the air mass was formed over the continent, it'll be a continental or if it was formed like on land, it'll be a continental air mass, and then if it was formed over water, it'll be a maritime air mass. And a continental air mass is going to affect the moisture characteristics. Continental and maritime. Continental is going to make it dry, and maritime is going to be more humid. So we have one group that focuses more on temperature, and then the other that focuses on the moisture characteristics. So how you would say it is, if you had, say, an air mass that formed in the lower latitudes over water, then it would be a tropical maritime, and you could label that as a capital T, lowercase m. So you combine these two to fully classify an air mass. So why is Oklahoma susceptible to tornadoes in relation to air masses? Well, Oklahoma is in the center of our continent, and so it's getting a lot of the warm, humid air from the Gulf of Mexico, the warm, moist air from the Arizona and New Mexico, and then cold, dry air from Canada. And the collision of all of these air masses produces the cyclones. So why is the lifting of air important? Well, the lifting of air is important because once air rises, it expands and it cools. Once it cools to its dew point temperature, the clouds will develop because the saturation will occur. And of course, precipitation occurs from the clouds and the humidity and the saturation not the humidity, I'm sorry, whenever the condensation that occurs in the clouds. So there are more than two processes, but we will be talking about two processes today. One of them is convergence. Convergence is where the airflow meets and air is pushed up because there's just nowhere else for it to go because it can't go down. This leads to adiabatic cooling and then cloud formation. And then localized convective lifting. Localized convective lifting is unequal heating of air, and this causes thermals to rise, which can cause saturation and scattered short-range showers. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I hope you learned something.